You know that fucks up. Like when I'm trying to time things when I edit, right? You do understand that, David.
Yeah.
And you know it really bugs me when things don't line up right because I couldn't get it right.
I'm sorry.
And so now it's your
Just
hello
doing it. Just doing
everybody.
it.
No, we're keeping it because and I'm gonna say it was your fucking fault. So if you guys having some kind of weird disconnect and like I talk too soon or he talks too late or whatever, it's his fault. Anyways, welcome guys to the CHG podcast, gaming podcast here. My name is RJ. That's David, and this is where we talk about the gaming industry, gaming news. Hopefully, be funny or smart, whatever have you about it. Also, Dave, I don't know if you saw it, but last week's actually did pretty damn well. One of our best.
No, I didn't.
One of our best. People really like us
What did
getting
we
all
even talk
sentimental.
about?
We talked
What
about
did we
the
even
games,
talk about?
the games that mean the most to us.
Oh yeah, that's right.
We got all touchy feely, got into the feels. People like that. People like it when two burly men. Oh, I mean burly is kind of a quotations, but two burly men.
Not barely.
Hey, he's burly. Don't let him fool you.
My
two
wife
men talking
doesn't let
about,
me grow out facial hair.
Can you though? Can you even?
I mean, I don't know. I haven't
because
actually tried.
I knew you before you knew her, and I've never seen you.
Well, yeah, because I
hair.
definitely because like I don't look good in the in between for sure.
Well, you have to get there to get to the. You have to go through that.
I was pulling the honeys without it, so I wasn't risking anything, you know. I wasn't risking anything.
Pull the bitches. That's funny. Sorry, I didn't mean that. Anyways, so yeah. So last week I actually did really well. Thank you guys for really enjoying that one. One of our best we had in a while. But this week we're kind of gonna do something a little different. We're actually gonna be all mainstream. We're kind of just gonna give you guys kind of like a news update from what we've seen about last week or so. What's been going on. We don't normally do that. We kind of just touch on maybe if it's adjacent to our topic, we'll bring it up. But usually we don't do that. But this week we will because I'm bankrupt for ideas right now. So, but as always, we'll talk about what we're playing first. This week I'll go first because it's gonna be really short this time. Won't be 10 minutes like it normally is. I'm just playing Neo and Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1+2 remake still, and I'll be playing those for quite some time because to the Tony Hawk Pro Skater thing. You have to do like they call them tours, but just basically beat Tony Hawk 1 and 2 with each of the characters. And then after you do that, you do it with your created character, and then there's like a couple extra characters, like secret characters and shit. And then there's like all these other, and then like the bulk of the replayability comes from all the challenges that they threw in, and you want to do those challenges because you want to get to level 100 because there's a trophy for it, and that's like the grindiest trophy of them all is just getting to level 100 because it does take forever to do. I'm a level 70 now. Just playing through all the characters, which is nice because then it means I don't have to do too much to get the other 30 levels. But I have two characters left. My created character, and then the 3 secret characters. And I don't even know if I have to actually play the tours or just collect their stat points. But either way, it's not much left for that. And then I'll be getting to the real fun part, doing all the extra cool challenges that they want you to do on my way to get the platinum. I already got it on PS4, so I'm just basically replaying on PS5. And I could just file transfer, but this is one game where I actually want to play again because it's that fun. Yeah. It's that much fun.
It's kind of your game.
And it's also it's my thing. So like I absolutely will willingly play that again. It's basically another excuse to. And then on Neo, I'm just doing more of that end game stuff, just having a lot of fun. I actually have 2 builds now, 2 proper builds, or at least proper for me. I'm sure there's some weird way I could possibly min-max the shit at, even more, squeeze out even more out of it. And, like all because I don't have time for all that testing that they do. Like people like you play Souls, like people will be testing these builds, like squeezing out the most. Yeah, like and I could, but I'm not gonna because like there's like talismans you can use to like boost yourself up, and you can test that against like doing it with abilities instead or like with your set bonuses, and I don't got time for that shit. So I'm just going to get the sets that I want, make sure I have the basic stuff that I need with it, and then just see how it goes. And just doing the end game abyss mode, playing through that. And then there's another build. There's at least one more build that I want to have already. And there might be another build that I have as well. But yeah, and the building it is not too bad, actually. I thought it was going to be a real big hassle, but once I understood what to do, and I'm in a level of the game where I can get it fairly quickly. So really happy about that. It is really cool to finally actually like be meta because like I was kind of meta before, but now I'm like meta. I'm like, I actually know what the sets are. I know what to do with them. I know how to do them, and so it's really nice to be able to actually understand really understand more of what this game has to offer. So then when I eventually do play Neo 2 on PS5, I'll be coming into that really, really strong, really good for when I get to the end game for that. So that's literally all I've been playing for the past 2 days on stream, playing the Cuphead DLC, which I did beat on Monday, but there's all the secret stuff, all the extra shit that Cuphead has. So I'll be doing that later as well once I'm kind of done with one of those games, or if I'm just like bored with them. But yeah, that's it for me. What about you?
So so I haven't been playing much of anything. So
Except
I
Spanish
started.
homework.
No, Spanish is done. Spanish is done.
It's done now.
It's even more now. So like I was cheating my way through Spanish.
Naturally.
So like it wasn't that hard.
Okay.
Now, and that was online, so I stayed home. But now I am at campus. I'm taking a history class, something that, one, I care about, two, I can't cheat through. And there's reading, because it's a summer course and it's condensed.
Yeah.
He basically was like, you need to be doing this book that we have assigned, like a non-textbook, and it's like 40 to 50 pages every day.
Yeah.
You need to do that every day.
Damn.
And then on top of that, there's 40 to 50 pages of textbook readings that he's like, you need to get to this eventually because this will be in the tests that we take. So and then me and Serena have been going to the gym.
You hitting the gym
in the morning?
You hitting the gym now? Okay.
Yeah. So we wake up at 5 a.m. We leave.
Oh my God.
We leave at like 5, at like 6. What would you say, love? 6.
We wake up at 5 and we leave at 5:30.
Yeah.
Yeah,
we leave by like 5:45. We get to the gym. We work out for like maybe 45 minutes because like by the time we get to the gym, that's all we really have. And then I go to school with her, and because gas is so crazy, we're carpooling. So I go to my class, or I have like an hour before my class, or 2 hours before my class, I finish up whatever reading in the book that I didn't do, try to do some of the textbook reading, go to class, that's 2 hours, come back, then it's noon, I go to lunch with her, then it's 1, and then I have from 1 to 5 to get to read the 40, 50 pages from the other book. And you probably know, people might not know, I am terrible reader. I read really slowly and I get distracted easy. So I fall asleep while I'm reading all the time.
Oh man!
So it takes a while.
Oh yeah.
I doze off all the time. So anyway, long story short, I
given a time, you haven't been home.
I'm not playing anything. I'm not home. We get home, then then I hang out with my wife, and then we eat, and then we go to bed again because we're going to bed at 9 o'clock now, because we're getting up at 5 o'clock. But to not fall asleep and to try keep focus, like I take like 30-minute breaks every like 45 to an hour of reading. And when I do, I play Game Dev Tycoon on my phone, and it's fucking annoying as shit because that game is fucking random. And sometimes I get, because like I don't know if anyone's played it, but like you do these little meters, like how much gameplay are you going to focus on, gameplay or graphics or story or whatever, dialogue, whatever, game world, and then based off of that and how much of a match it is to the topic and the genre you're doing, you get both technology and design points. And it's supposed to be, you want the most technology and design points, and that determines the grade that you get from magazines, which then impacts your sales. Okay, kind of trying to simulate game development.
Yeah,
I will set new records for both design and technology on a game that is like because you can have like let's say it's a military, and then the genre is action, which is a great fit. They'll say great, and then you do mature, which is great for the rating, and then you put it on like the PC, and that's great for an action game. So everything's tip top. I set a new record. All that's good. I'm like, oh man, this is gonna be like at least like because they do 4 grades. I'm like, man, at least I'm gonna get like at least 2 10s, and it's a fucking like 7s and 6s, and I'm like, fuck you, game. I'm so mad. I start over, like talking about how that I'm like the start over like person. I start over like if I don't have like 4 or 5 million by the time I get into the second stage of the game in the bank, it's just over. Because you're gonna because once you get into the second stage, you have so much. Your cost is so high because you're in a bigger place and you have employees now that you'll just bleed money until you're dead. And
real game development.
Yeah, exactly. So like you gotta be like 7s. 7s don't fucking cut it. 8s will keep you above water. 9s will make you a little bit of money, but if you're not hitting 10s, you're not doing shit. So like if you're hitting 7s, or God forbid you have like a flop that's like a 5, you're fucking done. It's over.
You may as well quit at that point.
Yeah, it's just a matter of time before you run out of money. Like you gotta be hitting because like towards the middle part of the game, each game costs like $250,000 to $500,000 to make.
Yeah.
And so if you hit a 5, you're taking a loss of $250,000 on a $500,000 game. And so but that's all I'm playing. That's all
I'm curious though, what are the microtransactions like?
None. They don't have any microtransactions on that game.
Oh, it's a game without them, huh?
It's a paid game on the phone.
You paid for it. Okay, how much?
Like $5.
Okay. It's
not bad. It's on Steam too.
I was gonna say something like this. Like this got to be on PC. It has to be on PC. Like Tycoon is at the end of it. It has to be on PC. Like
I play it on my phone the most though, just because like it is a very like just like time waster game. Because at the end of the day, you're just moving sliders. Like that's pretty much it, and managing funds and stuff like that. So
the managing funds, that's my name right there.
I think you would get addicted to it. Like it's pretty fun. Like when you hit a 10, when you fucking like the first time I hit perfect 10s, 4 10s.
Ooh.
You were flying
high.
Good. I was feeling real good. Or the like it's a thing within this games community that's like, when you get your first game that you do really good on, it's like, because it'll do like this weird thing that's just it's for the brain. It's kind of like a same kind of thing the loot boxes do, but like it'll like randomize the numbers. Like it'll be like and you'll see like 10s pop up. You're like, fucking land on a 10, fucking do it, and it like lands on your first 10, and they put a little star around it to make you feel good. And then you're like, oh, 10, and then the second one comes out, oh, 10, and the third one comes out, you're like 10, you're like one more, it's like 9, and you're like, son of a bitch. Like those games, like that'll still get like if you get a 9.5 or higher, you're gonna sell like 1 million plus copies, and that's a successful, like really successful game. So it's fun. It's just annoying as shit. And I have never, so there's like, you can do it quick in like a 25-year span. So the history of gaming happens in 25 years. Or you can do the 35-year span, which is like a normal playthrough. And then the long version is 45 years. And I've never made it to the end of a 45-year thing because I think that they're harder graders, honestly, but who knows?
Oh, well, the biggest thing top me from mobile games is that the battery life drain is just so bad. And my battery, my battery already, just texting and other apps that aren't nowhere near as expensive.
And phones are designed to have bad battery life after 2 years.
Oh, well, all right. Well, that's something. But this particular phone it started not good. So, of adding a game to that is just that's not happening. There was this one time because this was one game the only time I was ever really hooked on a game, besides Flappy Bird, because I was actually good at that. But there was one of these farm games that an ex introduced me to, and I didn't even know why. What got to me was that all of the inventory management and like the order of operation management, like that was I was in school at the time, and I was just like, oh, I'm like seeing all these like operate. I'm like, we can cut that out. We can make that part more efficient. She's just like, I just like because his cats and his farm and it's cute. I'm just like, no efficiency. We need efficiency here. We need to grow the crops faster. And I'm like, so I went and got it myself, and I got hooked for a while. But man, yeah, that battery life drain is no joke. But anyways, so I guess that's what he'll be playing for quite some time until gas. I guess settles down for him. Yeah. So anyways, we're gonna get
It's under $4 now.
I thought your part of the state was fine because you had all that oil money that was holding it.
I mean, that's why it's better. Like, what is it in Washington? Like $6 a gallon?
No, it's at about 5.5.
Yeah. So I mean, I mean, this is all way more than we should talk about on this podcast, but we can talk later about it. But it's better, but it's not saving us.
All right, cool. Anyways, guys, we're gonna get right into it. Kind of give you guys a little recap of what's been happening in case you missed anything, because not everyone can catch everything except if you're RJ, because I'm a nerd and I cannot keep my eyes away from the news. So we're gonna do a little small thing first. I don't know if this was last week or early this week. I cannot remember. But for those of you who missed it, they finally showed off some Skate 4 footage, some actual footage. They called it pre-alpha.
They're like, hey, they even said, hey, like, we know this sucks. It's like so early. Don't freak out.
Yeah, like in the trailer, they brought it up too. They were like, hey, here's what we got so far. Just but but just keep in mind, like, this is not, which is fine. At least it's something. I'm fine with seeing an alpha build, especially since there's no release date yet on it, right? Because what I noticed a lot of time with a lot of games is that like they'll put out a beta or sometimes even an alpha of a game, like for a demo for people to play, but the game's still coming out in like 7 months or 6 months, like in the same year, and I'm like, wait, what? Like, like the beta, like for a lot of games, like the beta, like here's access to the beta, and it's like the beta looks just like the finished game, so like we should just call it the finish. Like I don't know, like just the time frame of like beta to finished product seems like only like 2 months, and I'm like, how was your beta at least I don't understand what betas are, and I probably don't. I'm not.
Well, a lot of betas are testing the online servers.
Yeah, usually it's a server. It's a server test, and some of those demos will say this is a network test. Like I think Elden Ring had that. I think, but it's not uncommon for some of them to call them network tests instead of betas. And if it is a network test, then you should call it a fucking network test. Like, I don't know. For me, it makes me worry when I see like these betas, and it's like, oh, you guys are still going to be working on some shit. Okay, you're just getting feedback from players, see how the game works and all that shit for the beta, which is totally fine, at least in my opinion. But then it's like, game comes out in a month, and I was like, that's not going to be enough time. You're not going to have enough time. You better push that out a few months. But anyways, yeah. So it was really cool to see. It doesn't. I mean, again, this is based off the pre-alpha. So actually, this is a good thing because if the pre-alpha. Pre-alpha looks about as good as Skate 3 did, which it does. It doesn't look any more spectacular than Skate. And I don't know if you probably didn't play a lot of Skate, did you?
I've seen it. No, I didn't play it. No.
I mean, Skate was never the most impressive game anyways, but it looks about as good as Skate 3 did on the PS3 360. And that's a good thing. So if their alpha looks as good as the best version of the previous game did, then that gives me high hopes that when they continue on with it, it'll look even better. I'm hoping so. What people are really hoping for is that they improve the flatland, because in all three of the Skate games, you could do manuals, no manuals, but that was it. You could do pivots while you were manually, but that was about it. You couldn't do any flatland at all. And I wonder how you would kind of do it. Maybe the shoulder buttons or something like you do when you're doing grabs in the air. Or something, but people are kind of hoping for more flatland because that'd be kind of cool. I'm more interested to see how well the animations of the feet and everything kind of look, because some of the animations in the game that they showed off, it looked just like Skate 3, and like sometimes the Skate 3 animations look good, sometimes it doesn't look good. So I'm kind of more particular on that to see how that works out, to see how good how good the body animations will be, how fluid that's going to be. They said there's going to be some kind of multiplayer hub of some kind. We'll see how that goes. Skate was one of the few games that I was actually really good at multiplayer and like actively did, not just because of trophies, but like I did enjoy it. So I'll be interested to see what they do with that. But yeah, but they showed it off. So if anyone, I don't know how many skateboard fans or extreme sports fans are out there who are just as much about it as I am from their youth, but I'm excited. I'm happy they showed off something, even if there is no date yet. That's fine. It's just nice to be kept up to date, which is good. Which I think is just a good plan for a lot of games because it keeps it in the conscious. You know, it keeps a game in everyone's subconscious back of their mind.
Especially a game like Skate, where it's not going to be like, it doesn't have the largest fan base, especially you know, it was always kind of like a back seat to Tony Hawk, even though they were different styles of skating games. So yeah, I think it's good to, you know, they announced it forever ago, which was probably a mistake.
It was, I think it was 2. Actually, it was 2 years ago.
It was like 2 or 3 years ago. Yeah,
it's like 2 years now.
So they announced it too soon. It sounds like if they're this far away from the game, they hadn't said anything. I think that they basically forced like, hey, we need to, or people are going to completely forget about the game. So.
Yeah, I think this is a good idea. I hope they do more of this. Like, I think like the developer diaries are a popular thing.
Yeah.
You know, just whatever, just put out something so the news outlets can kind of push it for you, and then you know just make sure it kind of keeps everyone like, oh yeah, okay, they're still working on it. This and that's coming along. So I'm excited for it. It'll be probably day one for me. Skate 2 was a day one for me. I remember vividly Skate 2 was a day one. I don't remember what Skate 3 was, but Skate 2 absolutely, which is my favorite one, which is an unpopular opinion, but Skate 2 is my favorite one. Skate 3 is actually my least favorite. But anyways, there's that. That was that. Next is we're going to jump right in. I'm kind of shuffling everything because I told David what we're covering, but I'm shuffling it so he's on his toes. God of War Ragnarok release date finally revealed for November something.
Yes.
I don't remember the exact date, but I was told it's the same either day or week as the Pokemon games, which is really interesting.
Different crowd.
I mean, granted, different crowds, but it's bad for YouTubers. It's bad for small YouTubers because especially if you like all those types of things, you want to play all of it and share all of it. But it's like, fuck, it's like
November 9th.
Split it. November 9th. Okay. Which apparently is either the same day or the same week as the Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. So, which is really funny. But it's gonna be great for GameStop and Best Buy and all that shit. They're gonna be having a ball. Like 2 bangers. Big. Like,
it's 9 days later. November 18th.
Okay, so it's short. Okay, about a week before. Okay, never mind then. Never mind. Still good. I mean, still bad for YouTubers, but really good for business. I mean, GameStop. I mean, we've been through some Pokemon releases before, and Pokemon releases are the only time of the year where I enjoy working at GameStop. It is like the only time I really enjoyed it because you get all the Pokemon merch that you have to sell with it. But Pokemon's awesome, so it's like it sells itself.
Your job is a lot easier because the merch is easier to sell.
It sells itself.
Instant pre-orders. Like if somebody comes in like with a Switch now, like you're like, oh, cool, and you're getting Pokemon, right? Cool, $5 down. Like it's not one where you really have to like convince or do any. Yeah,
if they buy anything Pokemon related, it's like, hey,
or
Scarlet Viol's coming out. Yeah. Or like, they have a Switch. There's a good chance they like Pokemon. It's like an 85% chance they like Pokemon. And it's like, hey, Pokemon's out. Did you know? Like, no, I didn't know, but here's $5 because I'm pre-ordering that. I was like, that's what I thought. I don't know what you did, David, but that was weird.
I dropped the golf ball.
God, why do you have a golf ball?
Because I fidget. Okay, I have ADHD probably. I don't know. I've never been diagnosed.
Come to CHG where we play with golf balls for some reason. Anyways, so interesting.
Because I only have one ball, so this is my second ball.
Okay, thank you for sharing.
I got cancer, guys. Oh, yeah, I told you.
David. Okay, let's just move on.
And they took one of my guys.
All right. Are you done with your show and tell? Anyways.
I mean.
Oh, wait. Whoa. I mean, just tell. Just the tell. just the tell. Anyways, why do people even come here? Why do they even listen to us? Anyways, but the interesting thing about the release date, about the reveal, because they revealed not just the release date, but also revealed the 2 special editions that are going with the game. There's like one, I think, just called Collector's Edition, and there's like the Jontar. I don't know how to say it right.
Yeah, and then some Greek, not Greek,
Nordic. Yeah.
Nordic
Sorry,
name,
we don't know how to say it, but two different editions. Big differences. I think it's just like there's a bigger bust of one of them, I believe. With
so
like, I think his blades.
There's different dice, and then there's there's different set of dice. So both sets have dice. The bigger one just has a different set, and then I think they both come with the hammer. And then the bigger set comes with a vinyl record of the soundtrack plus a cloth map.
Doesn't also one of them come with like a statue of Kratos or his son or both of them or something like that?
No, that's the statue element is the hammer. They both come with cosmetics for both of them.
Yes, that's a pre-order thing in general.
Well, this is specifically for the collectors.
Sorry, because so all the pre-orders get like one little thing for Kratos and Atreus, but then if you buy either both of those or the digital deluxe, there's an extra set of cosmetics, which I think that's shared between all 3 of them. But anyways, so first things first, I want to mention before we go into the real controversy of the reveal is that I hate it when collector's editions, if there's more than one, they might give the same thing, but it's a different one. It's a different
variant. Yeah.
It's like what it should just be is the same thing, but you just add an extra shit on top of it. Don't change it, because that pisses people off.
Okay, you gotta buy both.
Yeah, because like you gotta buy goddamn both of them.
You can do double hammers.
Like Ubisoft is the worst at this, because they'll put out like 10 special editions, as they do for like every big game that they announce, and sometimes they'll even have different steelbook cases for them, and I'm like, what am I supposed to do with this? Like, I only have one console. I have, and I don't like having just the books with nothing in them. I want the game in it. But if I only have one game, and I'm not going to buy a second version of the game on the same console, so it's like, what the fuck? That's really, it's usually Assassin's Creed where I've noticed it. But yeah, and like I think it's Horizon Zero Dawn might have had, maybe not Forbidden West, but I think Zero Dawn had 2 different editions with two different busts, which I'm sure pisses collectors off to no end when they include different busts for different special editions. Especially if they're different, if they're priced differently, and the cheaper one has the cooler bust, but like you want the other bust, and it's like, because like, okay, I've never searched for busts because I don't care about them, but steelbook cases are easily searchable on eBay. That's how I got a lot of mine, is going on eBay, because people can resell that really easily. But busts, I don't know if you can easily search for,
I mean, I'm sure you can.
How would you type that? I mean, you could type bust, but not everyone's going to call it a bust. They'll call it maybe statue might work.
Yeah,
but
statue. Like you could, like when I sold my Cyberpunk statue that was in the collector's edition that we got, I just said Cyberpunk collector's edition statue.
I mean, and you would think that. I mean, that's probably what I would do too. Yeah. But it's just, I don't know if it's as I
sold it broken on Macari for like $50. So,
but yeah, so I don't know. But so that fun.
That's right, GameStop. I sold all the shit you gave me, all of it.
And they don't care.
No, they do. They do care.
Well, I mean, they care when you work there, but they don't care that you're not anymore. So what are they going to do? Find you?
I was still working.
Anyway, so that's the thing. But the big deal about the reveal, for some people might know, is that for both of the special editions, physical ones, that is, for God of War, they both do come with a steelbook case. It's the same one, thank goodness. But they went down the route that other people have done, which I hate to no end, and they did not provide a physical game with the copy. It's like a digital. Wait, do you get a digital version? I didn't even see if you got a digital version.
You get a digital, and not only is it digital, but it's both the PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5 version.
Okay, which might be their idea for why, because it's like here's both, but here's the thing: a lot of places are still doing are just doing it. If you put the disc in, you can get the digital copy anyways. So
yeah. I mean, like so I don't know how it works on the PlayStation 5 with backwards compatibility or like it.
I can tell you.
Recognizing. Okay.
So if you have a PS4, let's say if you got it for PS4, you just put the disc on the PS5, and it has to still install it again, but it'll play right there. Just put the disc in, bam, done, running. But if they are offering a upgrade feature, what happens is you put the disc in because they still need the disc to run it. Put the disc in, and then it'll say like, hey, like I forget exactly what happens, but like either a pop up or you go to the store or whatever have you, and it'll be like the PS5 version will show up and it'll be free, and you have to install that, and you get it. Granted, you still have to keep the PS4 disc in for some reason, but you have the PS5 digital version for free, and you
can't. The reason is so you can't get that and then go sell the PlayStation 4 disc.
Oh, okay. Well, regardless, you still get both. You get both if you buy one of them. My
feeling behind that is like, I think ideally, consumer wise, I would like there to be an option. On the non-consumer wise end of it, thinking from business, like, it's probably cheaper, but I don't think that was the reason.
No. Disc manufacturing can't be that expensive.
What I think it is that I think that they would have had to do a PlayStation 4 version and PlayStation 5 version. And then you're splitting your inventory and you have to decide, okay, do we split it evenly? Do we make more PlayStation 5 versions because that's the new version, or because we couldn't sell, because the PlayStation 5 is still on a shortage? Do we make PlayStation 4 versions? But then we have to think, okay, well, are people not going to buy the PlayStation 4 versions because they're just going to wait for the PlayStation 5 versions? And then you have an inventory issue that you're going to sit on collector's editions because if you make the wrong choice. So this way they're like, screw it. This way we can say that it's cheaper. It might be $5 cheaper than it would have been, whatever. But they know that, like, hey, this is universal inventory. It can be sold to anybody. So they don't have this where, like, because me, with GameStop, sometimes we sat on collector's editions until they went down from like $300 to like $25.
$30 or whatever. It was like a Watch Dogs one we had for the longest time, which we actually ended up painting out. And then I forget. I think the statue or whatever bus was taken by Evan or something. But and that's how I got the steelbook. That's how I got the steelbook from Watch Dogs, because we painted it out and I took the steelbook. That's how I got it.
So that I would think, not knowing anything about obviously their internals, but that's would be my thing, is that there's so much logistics and stuff about figuring that split out that it's just, I'm sure they save money in just not even thinking about it, because you have to understand that if they do split it into two physicals, right, there is going to be research into how to split it, which in itself costs money. You got to pay somebody to do the research to make that decision. So this one, they were just like, fuck it.
Yeah. I mean, they don't need to pay an outside person. They'll probably have their logistics people.
But you still got to pay. Like, that's still, it costs money.
Yeah, it's something that someone has to do, and they could be doing something else instead. Because they would just look at their projections based on general pre-orders across maybe the country or whatever have you, and then go from there. My only issue, because that makes perfect sense, and this is personal bias, my only issue is that don't include a steelbook case then. That's my only thing.
But that's
because everything else makes sense.
But that's expected. Like,
but like I said,
can you imagine buying a collector's edition and there not being a case in it? I mean,
you have no idea how common that is. It's more common than you think.
I've never seen it. I've never
it's
seen a
more common
collector's
than you
edition that
think.
did not have a steel case in it.
Maybe not for like the mainstream AAA shit, but even for like a tier below that, like maybe Dying Light, for instance, whatever. Like, there's no guarantee that they'll have a steelbook case. I've seen plenty of collector editions that did not include a steelbook case. Now, honestly, a statue is actually more expected than a steelbook case. I'm not saying this doesn't happen. Obviously, it does a lot, but I'm just saying, steel statue of some kind is actually much more common than steelbook cases. I'm just because that's something because when I read I'll read like on like new game reveal, special edition reveal, whatever. I click on that. Only thing I'm really looking for is steelbook case. Where's the steelbook case? And I miss it all the time. But statue of some kind is almost always in there. That's probably about as common as like soundtrack because that's easy to do, and like some kind of like cards, lithographs
like
or some kind of or something like that. So that's my only thing. This, like I said, it's a personal bias of mine because I'm just old about steelbook cases. That's like my hobby, the thing I collect, and so it's just don't tease me with your steelbook case when I have nothing to fucking put it in. And like it's just like that's my only thing.
On some good. So the box that they came in looks dope. They got like hidden it breaks apart in cool ways. So the box was at least looked top tier. The
Nice.
Hammer, because they like shrunk it down, I think maybe I don't know. The hammer looked weird, but it was still looked cool. They had pins. The pin set looked really dope. The dice looked like good dice. The cloth map, so long as it stays cloth.
What I'm wondering though with the map is if it's going to hold some secrets like the first game's map did, because there was like an insane secret that took like a couple years for people to find because it was embedded in the map and people had to like translate this old. I don't even know if it was a real language. It might have been. If it is, I don't mean to offend, but like they had to like translate this shit into like English and then like I don't know, somehow translate it back into a map or something. It was like a convoluted thing. It took like 2 years for people to figure out.
Crazy.
And I don't remember what the secret was. It was so convoluted. So I wonder if they're going to do that again, which I bet you they will. But this time people will be looking for it. They're going to be fucking like magnifying glass that shit immediately. But anyways, let us know down below if you already pre-ordered it, or if you're thinking about it, or if you're as annoyed as I am.
I'm gonna play it on the PlayStation 4.
So I'll probably play it on both just because I want to know the difference because I'm a curious person. Anyways, moving on to one release date getting announced, one release date getting moved. Starfield was delayed to next year. I think it was March 2023.
Yeah, I think everybody knew that was coming.
Which I felt was going to happen. When I read, I was like, yeah, I'm not surprised. I'm glad it did. I'm honestly glad it got delayed again because, and it's kind of funny how it got delayed after they announced it and people started really giving some more detailed feedback from all across the news outlets and shit like that. Publications were actually given like their real in-depth 2 cents of what they felt about it after they were watching it or maybe played it. It's just interesting how the timing works out. And I don't know. I like to think that they saw all of that and then they're, retracing their steps and maybe having to go back and do things. Like, for instance, no, it wouldn't make any sense. I was going to say get rid of the fucking creation engine, but that's not going to happen at this point. No, I was going to say, what I want to say was, though, that, maybe, I don't know, using the Xbox Series X where you can instantly go to planets, like, on the whim with that SSD that you paid for, like that's what I'm hoping they do. Like that's what I want.
I think that it just like it needs to be as smooth of a launch as possible. Like this has to hit like right away. Like again, I think we said this last time. Like Fallout 76 now apparently is pretty good, but like they can't have another Fallout 76. They can't even really have another Fallout 4. Like it has to be good. Like it can be buggy. But like good for Bethesda is not buggy.
That's true
because like it's always
okay.
going to be
I'm glad you brought that up.
Like,
I'm glad you brought because I was going to say
it has to be loved. It has to show that like love right away
was put here. Yeah. Love was put into this from the start.
Exactly.
And for those who don't understand, like when you put a game in, you play, you can sometimes tell instantly that there was love into this. For example, I'll use a more topical one. I'm playing the Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1+2 remix. For those who played it, soon as you fucking started that intro video and you saw the start screen and you started playing, you saw Tony showing up first, and then you saw the pros that were there. You knew that Vicarious Visions really, really cared about this project, or you played the Crash remake or the Spiral one, or like you play Horizon, or you play Bloodborne or Elden Ring. You could tell that they put labor into this project, and there was a lot of care given to everything that was in this game. And with Fallout 3 and New Vegas, even though they were made by two different studios, you knew, like, yeah, game buggy as shit. Like when New Vegas actually dropped, I remember the reviews, at least from GameStop, they gave it a 7.5. And mainly because
one
of the
of the best RPGs of all time.
Yeah, which is now one of the most beloved RPGs ever made, and a lot of people's favorite Fallout. Period. Not even a contest. 7.5, and I'm sure they weren't the only one that gave it like 7s or maybe some 8s, but not 9s and 10s like people like you would give it now. Regardless of the bugs, but I think it was because of the bugs. I think some performance issues maybe or whatever. Because at the end of the day, that's still a valid complaint, regardless of your studio. That's still a valid complaint to say, this is pretty fucking buggy. Like I still need to be able to play the game, but you still knew, and I played them too, and like you knew, like there was just so much put into this. Like all the characters, all the NPC that you actually do talk with, they all have different voices, or at least majority, like almost all of them have different voices, different fluctuations in their voice, like different. Even if their purpose in life is meaningless, it seems like meaningful to them. Like you just knew what was going. They cared. They put so much. Like so that's what he's talking about when he says
another example. And this is not video games. It's like shows. Is I'm watching this show on Amazon Prime Video called The Legend of Vox Machina, and it's an animation. It's a mature animation made by Critical Role, and Critical Role is this long running D&D game basically. And it's basically been like, it started off just as like a small people. Like I believe Felicia Day was original person in it. And now it's just like anybody who's in Hollywood who's a nerd has been on Critical Role. So like David Tennant from Doctor Who, the Rosa off of Brooklyn Nine-Nine, her actress, whatever her name is, she's been on it. She's in the show and stuff like that. And they're all in this show. Like David Tennant has a role that lasts like one episode. Felicia Day is in it for like 30 seconds. She just gets killed off right away. But like you can tell that the people who are making this show fucking love D&D, because there's so many like D&D references and like the world and stuff. So like you can tell right away. And that's what I want out of Starfield. I think hopefully that's why they're delaying it. It's a new IP, so there's not this built-in lore. So you can't show love through that way, but through the world, through how it's presented. So for example, in Fallout 4, Fallout 3, and Fallout New Vegas, the opening sequences of both those games are iconic. But the thing about them is that they were fairly short for you getting to like real gameplay. I think Fallout 3 wasn't. Fallout 3 was a little bit long. But like for 4, like you gotta control your character. You gotta run out of the door and then to the blast changeover. But then there was so much in between you actually get into the real game. Like I knew then it was weird. Like there was way too much. They were setting it up way too much. Whereas in 3 and New Vegas, like you had your reason, but then everything else was just like up to you. Where I felt like in 4 they were trying to, I don't know, make you care a little bit too much about your son being stolen from you. I don't know.
It just felt like maybe a little too bombastic. Too much.
It was a little too much. So I don't know. Hopefully they get back to a simple motivation. and then the rest is up to you to like go explore and do shit. But I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, and I'll at least say, even though 3 was a bit long, but you weren't really doing too much craziness. At least it made sense because you started as a baby, so at least there's a reason for it to take a while. Because it would kind of be a little interesting if you start as a baby with your dad talking to you, and then bam, 18. You know, like it is. At least it made narrative sense for them to kind of chronologically feed you. You start as a baby, then you start like a young kid, and then you were like a teenager, and then you were an adult. Then you got out. So at least it made sense, but it was a little bit long. But I feel you were saying nonetheless, though. So yeah, I mean, I hope in the same thing too. Even though I'm not gonna be able to play it because it just, I mean, it looked fine. It looked all right. It looked pretty good. But to me, it still did feel underwhelming. I was not like I wasn't feeling the hype that Bethesda's trying to give me, and I want to feel that.
We said it last time. I'm waiting for the story. Like, I'm not here playing a Bethesda game for the graphics or the gunplay. I want those to both be good, but I'm there for the story. I'm there for the world. So
yeah,
give me that.
True. We'll see what happens. But anyways, it got delayed. So hopefully that the few extra months, because it was supposed to come out in November. So now they gave them another 4 months. Hopefully that is enough for them to just add more, refine more, maybe take out crap more, and then also more time to huddle up and then realize that the Creation Engine 2 is terrible and they need to dump it and then get something else for Elder Scrolls 6, or just remake New Vegas in 3. There it is, guys. Who knew? I mean, somehow there's always a way. Where there's a will, there's a way. David will slide it in. Moving on. So the next thing is that this probably won't be as long, but Skull and Bones got shown off, like kind of almost re-revealed in a way, because we haven't seen shit from that game since 2017 or something.
And here's the thing. In my opinion, it needs to be dead. Like they had a window, and they fucking missed that window. That window was, you had a year or maybe 2 after Black Flag when everybody was like, this is the best fucking thing in an Assassin's Creed game ever, and I want more of it. And they're like, fucking got you, bro. And we were like, yes, more fucking pirates. Give us fucking more sea shanties. Let's go fuck shit up. Yeah, awesome. And then how many fucking Assassin's Creed games have come out since then?
All right, Unity, Syndicate, Origins, Odyssey. 5?
Too fucking many.
If you're not including spin-offs and re-releases.
Too fucking many, okay? They missed their window. Now, if they release a trailer showing off some bomb ass
So check it out.
Bomb ass sea shanties.
What?
Then maybe I get one over again. Maybe I get one
trailer on sea shanties.
Just sea shanties. Just some burly fucking men singing some sea shanties. Show me that.
That is the dumbest thing.
And maybe I'm back in again. But I think they missed their window. I think they missed it.
Well, here's what I'll say. If you're not mistaken, so Assassin's Creed 4 came out in 2013, I believe. Skull and Bones was shown off like 2 years after the fact, already from the beginning, if you remember. But Skull and Bones is so old that it was like in relevance before the pandemic, like back when E3s were still a physical thing and people watched them. It's so old. You and I talked about it when we started this fucking channel 5 years ago. We were talking. There's some old episodes before you moved to Texas. I don't remember what game, probably Cuphead or something. But there's some old ass games where you and I actually talked about Skull and Bones for a little bit.
It was announced
when we were.
It was announced in early 2019.
No, that's way too late. There's no way it was 2019.
That's what Wikipedia says.
I refuse to believe. Well, Wikipedia is not always right. Because remember, that's all put in by fan shit.
Oh no, 2007.
So
okay,
that's not all.
E3 2017.
Okay, that makes way more sense. But that's how old we're talking here. Okay, people, that's 5 years ago, a long time. and it looked good. People were like, "Oh, dope!" Like David said, and then they showed up like again next year, or whatever. By like that same like, I remember because that dude presenting it was so like not a corporate looking guy. He looked like Lou Albino or whatever from back in the 80s. He looked like him, kind of. Like he had a cane. He would swear on stage, which was like a rarity then. It still kind of is today. But like, yeah, I could tell he was kind of passionate about it too. Like he kind of seemed like he was really into it. But like, yeah, that's the only reason I remember the game so fondly, because of the guy presenting it. Yeah, and then I feel like a couple years after that, nothing. And then people were just like, "Huh, that Skull and Bones game. What happened to that?" And it just nothing. So, I don't. I didn't even watch the trailer. I didn't even care. I mean, I didn't care from the start because I don't really care about pirates all that much. Like, I actually don't like the ship battles in Assassin's Creed 3 and 4. I rather just do normal Assassin's Creed shit. It. That's just me. But I know I am the minority. I know that absolutely I am the minority. That's why Assassin's Creed 3 or 4 did so fucking well, was because of the ship narrative.
It was also the first.
I mean, I like being a pirate.
It was also the first Assassin's Creed game where, well, no, 3 was kind of that way, but where like you weren't really into the Assassin's Creed shit.
That's what. No, it was just 4. It was 4. 3 was not really like that. He kind of did hold up a little bit more of it than 4. Yeah, that's kind of why I was pissed off by 4, because I was like, this is called Assassin's Creed, please. This is not called like I do what the fuck I want and I happen to have an Assassin's hood on. Creed.
I love how he just
for me, that pissed
like
me
he
off.
just killed the guy at the beginning. Just like, oh, well, I guess.
And just took it. It was like, whatever. I guess I'm wearing this today. Like,
it's like
whatever. It didn't realize what it stood
putting
for.
on like Superman's cape or something, and then everybody's like, "Oh, you're Superman now." And he's like, "Oh,
I guess so. I am. I don't care.
Cool.
I guess I am. I don't care though. Like, don't call me that, but I guess I am." And so it's like that pissed me off. Because I was like, he didn't become an assassin until like the last chapter of the game, and it was like, really, now all of a sudden you care. But anyways, I'm not saying it's a bad game. I liked it. I played it, got the platinum. I'll play it again on PS4 because I played it on PS3, but whatever, it's fine. Anyways, I don't have high hopes for this either, because rarely when a game is in this much development hell does it come out as like worth it, like a fucking banger. Like Dying Light 2 just barely came out worth it, in my opinion.
Yeah,
given how long
I haven't played it yet, but I've heard it both ways.
Because it's not a fucking 10 out of 10. I mean, I'm not saying it's bad, but it's not like the banger people were hoping for, given how long we've been waiting for. I mean, there's sometimes some caveats. Sometimes it happens. I remember Gran Turismo 5 actually came out and was actually pretty good for people, and that was in development hell for like 9 years. But very rarely is it worth. They could be good games, solid games, but not worth the wait that we had to go through, to the point where it was like, you guys should have just scrapped it and just made something else instead. So
we'll see.
Which is a shame, because you were excited for Skull and Bones when it dropped.
Yeah,
you were pumped.
I love the pirates.
You were pumped.
Although,
so
one more real quick thing before we move on to our last thing. I do like that they talked about that there might be like, I need to know more, but like that there's RPG elements to like your crew. So like,
yeah, because they said you actually wouldn't be doing a whole lot of pirate stuff. I read like ship stuff or something. I forget what they said, but there's not going to be a whole lot of something you would expect in a game.
I don't know.
Like
I think it'd be really cool if I could like, if it was an RPG to where like my like pirate crew like had a first mate, and I like could upgrade his skills, and I had like different guys and I could upgrade their skills. Like, that would be really cool. But I don't know how deep they're going to go or what their angle is going to be. But it is somewhat intriguing.
Which is fine, because I mean, we didn't even know what kind of game this was supposed to be. You know what I mean? Like, we just knew pirates. Like,
pirates.
That's all we knew. Oh, here we go. It says Skull and Bones lets you get off your ship and play as a pirate, but not as often. Oh, as the person themselves, like the person playing it liked. Okay, never mind. It's a personal opinion. So what it listed, in their opinion, it seems to be there is a lot more ship faring things.
That's what was shown
rather than offside the ship thing, which means there'll probably like a lot of the RPG elements might happen on the ship, like maybe in the captain's quarters or whatever have you. Which I get it, it's fine. But anyways, that's that. Last thing, sadly, we're going to end on a somber note here. But for those who might have heard, the creator of Yu-Gi-Oh! Died on, I think, Wednesday, this past Wednesday, which would be the 6th. He died at 60 years old. He died of at least for now, we don't know the details, but it seems to be he was in the lake. I think he drowned, I believe. But yeah, it was tragic. I was kind of bummed like the whole day. What
I was just going to say his name is Kazuki Takahashi.
Thank you for pulling that up. Yes, passed away. Big bummer for a lot of people who either grew up with Yu-Gi-Oh or still play the Yu-Gi-Oh, whether it's the virtual games, the card game, the simulators on Yu-Gi-Oh. I think it was like Yu-Gi-Oh Pro.
The fans of the original
practice
manga, which
OGs,
is fucking crazy.
OGs, yeah.
Like,
oh yeah, like the mangas is. Well, and also the Japanese version of the anime too, because that's
because based on the manga, guys.
It is no
the
joke.
Original
it is insane.
Was not
people
a card
people
game.
Die. Yeah, people die, bro. Like people, they don't go to the shadow realm and stay. They just chill in like they're in like limbo.
Not even that.
It's like,
have you seen like the original first couple episodes? Where Yu-Gi-Oh is playing a game with a guy where they're drenched in like flammable fluids, and there's it's something like I can't remember what it, but there's a candle, and it's like some kind of like chicken game, and basically Yugi lights a dude on fire. Or the Pharaoh does.
Well, I haven't seen any of it, but there is a what fans call a season 0 of the show.
That's that.
And it's I'm sure it's that. I think it's all in Japanese though. There's no English because it was like some kind of a pilot, but it's a full season. It's like 20 episodes, something like that. It's a full fucking season, and I'm sure it has all that darker shit that was based off of the.
And that's why in the first season of what we know as Yu-Gi-Oh, he already has the No, he doesn't. They do retroactively change that.
Yeah, they say that his grandpa found it while he was in an excavation in Egypt or whatever,
right.
and then he gave it to his son.
But yeah, I mean, it's sad time. So go. Crunchyroll has a whole list of.
Do they have everything?
I don't know. They have a lot. So like, if you're jonesing for some stuff, some memories, you can go there.
I mean, because there is so much. There's so much Yu-Gi-Oh! Like past what we. Okay, so I've seen the whole OG series, not just bits and pieces. I've seen the whole damn thing. I saw all of Battle City, which was the second season. I saw, the whole first series with Yugi, our boy Yugi and the gang, was 5 seasons long. It was 5 seasons. And I saw that whole thing.
All the way up to even where they get transferred into that world where like the monsters talk.
That was season 3. I believe.
No, I think it was.
I believe that was season 3.
That's where I stopped.
No, I think it was true. It was season 3 because it was like a weird filler season, honestly. Because I know season 4 and 5, or maybe it was season 4. I don't remember. But anyways, that was a weird ass season. I'm not gonna lie to you. Very weird. It didn't last as long as the others, episode wise. Very strange season. No one knew what the fuck was going on. It was kind of just something filler to kind of just give backstory to Kaiba, honestly, if anything, in his family. But it was still like fun Yu-Gi-Oh! Whatever. So I seen all 5 seasons. The ending made me almost cry. It made my brother almost cry. Because it's when Yugi, it's because it gets revealed that Yugi, Atem, the Pharaoh, and because by this point, the Pharaoh and Yugi are now their own separate entities. They still share the pyramid, but they're now, and everyone actually starts recognizing them as different people. Because back in the day, it was like you didn't realize Yugi fucking grew 7 inches and had and was like a badass all of a sudden. Like, but anyway, they're separate people. There's a prophecy that happens that if Atem wants to go back to his time and all that shit, he has to do one more battle with his own opponent, but he has to end up losing. Not on purpose, mind you, but he has to end up losing to go back to his own time, and he battles Yugi. And it's a 4-parter battle. As Yu-Gi-Oh like to do, as the OGs know, and then Yugi ends up winning, and it's like with some clever shit too. It was some clever shit. Like I totally forgot what was going on, and then he goes away. And it's like a watershed moment because he goes. That's how the series ends, with him going back to his own time. And then I watched GX, which I hate GX with a fucking passion. It's with the fucking kid in the Yu-Gi-Oh! Academy, and I hate it. I saw it was 4 seasons long. I only saw 3 seasons of it because by this point Yu-Gi-Oh was winding down, and so I guess I forget the company that was putting out the show in the U.S. I don't know if they stopped getting funding, but what happened was in the 3rd season, the last couple episodes of the 3rd season were never dubbed, and Yu-Gi-Oh was a show that is good dubbed, and so it never got dubbed. And by this point, I wasn't used to watching things subbed at this point, so I was like, this is weird. Why is this? What's going on? Like, is there no English version for it? And I didn't care enough about the show to watch the season finale of season 3, so I never did. And then I didn't even. And season 4 was never dubbed, I believe, and I didn't even bother. So I've never actually finished GX, but I've watched enough to know what's going on, and I know I hate it. The reason why people love it so much is because the cards are great, because they've introduced the elemental hero cards, which they've stood the test of time. And like their god cards, the secret beast cards are fan favorites as well. People love the cards, and the cards are fine. I don't have any problem with the cards. I hate the characters. I hate every single one of them. I will stab them in the fucking mouth. But then 5Ds came out and redeemed all that shit. It was like the fucking best. It was like New Age Yugi. Like, it was a baller as shit. And then Jack Atlas is the man. He was like New Age Kaiba. They went back to the roots, and it was fucking balling. Loved it. It went 4 seasons.
Is
and that one had the same problem.
The bicycles, where they do it on the bicycle?
Yes, and it's doper than you think. Okay, I know it looks stupid in 2009 or whatever the fuck it was. I know it looked hella dumb, but honestly, the characters more than make up for it. Kind of how you would Fallout. You don't give a fuck about the shooty bang bangs. You just want the story and the characters to be great. That's what happens here. The story, the characters are amazing, and it's just what you want in a Yu-Gi-Oh anime. It's chef's kiss. And it had the same problem though. The last 4 episodes of season 3 were never dubbed. I still watched that shit. Didn't care. And then only 4 episodes of season 4 were dubbed. The first 4 were dubbed, and then the rest were subbed. I still watched it. I didn't care. I still watched it. It was amazing.
I think what we should do. So let's name our favorite episode from any season. Quickly.
How about battle, not episode.
Oh,
battle.
Yeah.
Your favorite battle.
Favorite battle. Quickly,
battle.
Why? I'll go first.
Okay.
It's hard for me. It was either between when Joey was possessed and Yugi got Joey back.
Oh, he fought Yugi. Oh, he had to fight Yugi. Oh man!
And then Joey handed over Red Eyes because that was the rules. And Yugi was like, "No, you don't have to." He's like, "No, those are the rules. I'm gonna go fucking." And then
and he pulled a different card out. He took the other card, and then we're just like, "Oh shit, he's breaking free! Get him!
Yeah."
Get him!
So that one, but I think the one, my favorite one, is the Labyrinth battle. In the first
the tag battle, the tag battle with the twins
in the first season, the Labyrinth tag battle. The reason why is I was watching that one, and I fucking loved I was already into the game. I had deck of cards and stuff. I played legit. Everyone in my fucking school, losers. They weren't playing sacrifice rules. So they just had their deck stacked with they were fucking Joey. They just had their deck stacked with like 8-star monsters only because they were rich too. And here I am, fucking poor as shit. I had to like work for my $30 starter pack, Yugi starter pack, and so so whatever. But so I was into it, and I saw that, and I was like, bro, like, do they have this? Like, and so I Googled it. I was like, trying to figure out if they had, like a labyrinth something, and they didn't. I was like, you know what? Fucking make this shit. I took like a 8x6 like sheets of printer paper, taped them together, and drew out a labyrinth. And I made my own rules, and I forced my little sister to play with me. It was fucking awesome.
If I ever see her again, I'm going to ask her about that. If I remember.
Awesome.
You remember that? You remember when David did that to you? Yeah, that's a good battle because we also got to see Red Eyes Black Metal Dragon or Metal Black. I forget which way you say it, but for the first time when I actually owned that card, I think
didn't we also get to see? No, I don't think it was that one. I thought we saw Black Skull Dragon.
Oh wait, no, Black Skull Dragon.
It was Black Skull Dragon.
I'm sorry.
Fucking
Metal Dragon was in, I think, the
Yugi's
tournament.
What's Yugi's one? Summon
Skull.
Skull.
It's Summon Skull and
Red Eyes.
Red Eyes.
Oh, it was dope. Anyway, yours.
That was dope. Yeah, that was dope as card. I always go between. I got two that I sometimes go back and forth with. I'll just go over them real briefly. So there was a battle in the 5th season or 4th season, I forget which you probably didn't watch at the time, but it was Joey versus this other guy. I don't remember his name, but it was a dope ass fight because they were basically fighting for my Valentine. Because as the story progressed, as the seasons went on, the relationship between Joey and Mai started getting more and more detailed and fleshed out, and was never fully said about do they like each other or not, whatever. But like with the passion Joey fought that whole battle. And he ends up winning, I think. But the passion he fights for her, and Mai's there the whole time too. I forget why she's there, but she's there the whole time. And then she's watching all that shit. And you could I was like, man, if this wasn't PG or Y7 or whatever the fuck, yeah, oh yeah, they'd be getting together for sure. So that was like a really good one because the emotion that was there. Also, the battle, Merrick versus Joey. Fuck it. I could still watch that and be like, come on, Joey, you got this. When he takes that, was it from Raw or from Lava Golem? It was from some big monster. I think it might have been Moon Dragon or Raw. I think Merrick's card hit him with like one big hit, and Joey was still up, and we were just like, no, this man is not up. And he had like 100 life points left too, or something like that. He's hanging literally by a thread. And then and Merrick thinks he won, but then the smoke clears, and then he's just like, what the fuck? like Merrick's losing it, the crowd's losing it, I'm losing it. We're just like, what? And then he was able to summon Iron Shield Gearfried, I believe is the name, or something like that. And all he had to do was say attack. All he had to say was attack, and he would have beaten Merrick. Because Merrick had like, I don't know, 50 life points left or something like that. He was one hit, and he was, because like I forget what happened, what spell card he had used to get that monster to hit him, but it was like it didn't last. It wasn't like it was a monster summon and it stayed. It was like a one-time thing, and he thought it would kill him, but yeah, but he couldn't say it in time. He couldn't say attack in time, and then he passed out from the damage, and so they had to forfeit. He basically forfeited because he couldn't continue. And oh man, I don't know how you tell storytelling that good, man, but that fuck. But anyways, my number one though is Yugi versus Kaiba Battle City Tournament semifinals. Because first of all, it went 6 goddamn episodes to do, and secondly, they summoned their god cards in the first 3 turns of the game, which I don't even know how you do that. And then they both lost them just as fast. They used some wizardry bullshit. Kaiba got his obelisk, Yuki got his cipher up, and the first turn, like second turns, and then they also lost them in the next turn. And I'm just, how did all of this happen in 5? We're on the first episode.
How did this happen? Continued screen where they're both like, where Yugi and Kaiba are standing on the platforms and their gods are like standing over them. It's like, to be continued. Like that was, and then they fucking lost them in the next episode.
Because they brought him back multiple times within the battle, but looting that first episode brought cards out. How do you do what in the hell? And then, but in the way it ended, I know it was the semi battle, and I know that they did it because obviously there was the new main baddie of Merrick, which I get it. Yes, he's way more baddie than Kaiba is, but that was the finals. Like they treated that as the finals. This was finals round 1. Like that was like the true finals, and then like Yugi Merrick was like the supplementary finals for just because here you go, here's a little treat, because the way it even ended was stupid. Like you could use some magic card with Dark Magician, a Dark Magician girl. It was called Diffusion Wave Motion, I think it might have been, and the way whatever I forget what it did, but he activated at the 7th, like the 20th inning, bottom of the 20th, bro. Like after like a day of fighting, and then it did. I think it destroyed all his cards or whatever and wiped out of his life points, and then he won. And I'm exhausted. I don't even know. Like I'm pooped. I'm tired. And all I did was sit on my ass and do nothing except be excited. And like I'm exhausted. Like if that was a real Yu-Gi-Oh battle, that would have went a whole day. Like I know it went technically like 2.5 hours in watch time, but like in real life IRL, that would have been an all day. Like you in real IRL Yu-Gi tournaments could only wish to match this because obviously there's real tournaments. But like if that shit went down in real life, people would be losing their minds. Like no joke, Yu-Gi-Oh would go mainstream because that's how dope it would be. Like so that's my favorite one just because of like how hyped it got me from the very beginning, and then it had such an epic battle. And then I mean there was a filler where they went to ancient Egypt for whatever reason because they're both tied to ancient Egypt. And Kaiba still's like, nah, that ain't me. It's like, but that looks just like, yeah, that ain't me. He refuses his destiny or whatever. That was like a filler bit, but everything else was fantastic. How do you tell story? How do you do storytelling this good? I don't understand how Yu-Gi-Oh got it so good so often. How do you even do this? Like,
Well,
oh man, what's his name again? What's his name? What's his name? The creator?
Kazuki Takahashi.
Okay, well, I'll use Takahashi.
Takahashi-sama.
You're a crazy man. You're a wonderful man.
Rest in peace.
You're a wonderful man. Rip. R.I.P. to you, man.
Thank you for our childhood.
You gave so many of us, millions around the world, something we will never ever be able to replicate, and something that never will be replicated again.
And this will be the last thing, and then we're way over time.
Yeah, that was it. We're done.
But, Pokemon, maybe it was a card game first, but Pokemon was like won itself in its video games, really, especially in America.
I think Pokemon was a manga first.
Yes,
I think Pokemon was a manga first.
You know what I mean? Like it's known for being like the games, right? Like the card game, the best card game was Yu-Gi-Oh. Like Magic, whatever, but like Yu-Gi-Oh was the card game, and
it's the only one where I actually played. It's the only one that I actually played. Only one I actually understood. Only one I understood. It was the only one I actually really cared to understand.
Great. It's greatness. So thank you, Takahashi-sama. Thank you. And rip.
Thank you. Gone too soon, man. Well, that wraps up this week's episode. Hope you guys had a good time. We had fun. There's David's wave again, as always. You can count on that as much as him counting on him saying Fallout 3, Fallout New Vegas remaster. But anyways, give us your thoughts on what we talked about. Are you guys excited for Skull and Bones, Skate 4? Are you guys pissed off about God of War release or Starfield being delayed? And tell us for anyone who watched Yu-Gi-Oh, read it, watched it, collected the cards. Yeah. Give us your best memory. Whatever it is. We'd love to hear it. Anyways, guys, hope you guys have fun. We take care. We'll see you guys next time. Bye.